The man doused himself with alcohol from head to toe, then chugged what was left straight from the bottle. Next, he scooped up black motor oil from a bucket and smeared it across his face. He even rubbed dirt all over his body. For the finishing touch, he picked up a piece of wire from the ground and shoved it right up his nose. This was his plan to escape, disguise himself as a homeless man and slip through a parking lot crawling with cops. But he still caught a police officer's attention. The officer immediately called out to him and approached for questioning. What he found was just a drunk vagrant reeking of booze, who'd apparently wet himself from fear. The cop let him go without a second thought. Little did he know, he'd just released the mastermind behind the bank heist. The female detective who just found the getaway car was hit by the sharp smell of alcohol. The vehicle had been wiped clean of all evidence. On the floor was an alcohol bottle they hadn't had time to dispose of. That's when Amy realized. The homeless man she'd just encountered was the robber's accomplice. But by the time it clicked, Bob had already vanished. The investigation hit another dead end. Then the police brought new intel. Bob, listening through a bug, instantly panicked. A security guard had seen his face. If that guard identified him, his entire plan would fall apart. He had to stop this somehow. He quickly researched the guard through his social media accounts, but the police had already brought the security guard to the scene, where he was using a composite sketch system to piece together Bob's face. Bob had to stop that guard immediately. He'd been using a fake identity to stay close to Amy, the detective, to gather police intel. Once Amy saw the completed sketch, his cover would be completely blown. Bob spotted an empty police car on the street. Using a wire, he jimmied the door open, but just then, the officers returned. As they slowly approached, Bob grabbed the radio from inside the car. That trick sent the two officers running off in another direction. Meanwhile, with the guards' help, the police had completed the composite sketch. Bob's face was now on paper. Bob broadcast a message in Russian over the radio, threatening the guard's daughter and mother, warning him not to complete Bob's portrait. The police were confused by the Russian broadcast. What they didn't realize was that the security guard, understanding Russian, was already undoing the sketch he'd just finished. By the time Amy figured out what was happening, the guard had already dismantled the composite. Amy immediately ordered them to trace the radio transmission source. But when officers returned to their patrol car, they found nothing inside.